I mean, I guess it runs in the family for people to get caught in other people's shit. I mean, for there to be no extra way into my apartment and for me to catch somebody going shh on a recording while it sounded like they were patting shit down. But this door was locked and the alarm was on. And yet it didn't go off in the recording, so they didn't enter through that door. Now to wake up today with chest pains in my heart means somebody above me when I heard the bang, or below me. That's why the dog's tail is between her legs and shit. Because somebody's using directed energy. For which is a crime. Aiding and abetting those torturing is a crime. Receiving gifts is racketeering for that crime. And it doesn't matter if they came from the NSA, Fort Meade, or a local's finest. See, I was up this morning at the crack of dawn, because that's what time I get up. But then knocked unconscious again. So why shouldn't I send another email out or call? I mean, I've already got legal counsel saying I got recourse on throwing away my wife's shit. No one can deny it. Kids were even there to hear the person bitching, saying ah, and then to throw away my coffee tables and other shit without even asking. No saying, hey, we're going to do this. But to pre-break metal detectors and games and electronics and all that other shit, and then to be tortured with the same crowd control or, neuro weapons that I was being hit with before at the last place here, and then hear somebody text somebody and then to hear the conversation because they were yelling at the person. Well, that's stalking, harassment, aiding and abetting, or aiding and harboring. It's funny because there's actually a doctor, the doctor that actually, here we go here. Today, missed alarm, 4:47 a.m. That's just an hour before I wake up. I don't ever miss my alarms. But yet every time I wake up, they all come flooding through at the same time like there's a blocker on them. All of them. So you see these say 6 hours, 6 hours. I didn't get them 6 hours ago. They all flooded through at one time like there was a blocker on my fucking phone. Somebody was blocking my shit from coming through. That's why it says 1 hour, 57 minutes for the bottom one. But to try to stop someone's heart, that's attempted murder. To use the neuro weapons and frequency devices, well, Bill Clinton even said that that's torture, and that's against the United States statute, along with several other countries that signed onto that treaty. And for people at my last address to have a connection to the NSA, and for people at this place have a connection to somebody in the military, well, I mean, both have a connection to someone in the military. But it's funny because the people that worked at the embassy in Cuba, when they were flown back to Florida, the doctor that they were seeing, he's been seeing targeted people for since then, and has since realized that there is a problem. Isn't that something? So I'll pull up the video for you. That's right there. Taking patience. Because that shit doesn't happen. I mean, he's already taken enough patience. He's still taking more. But he's already discovered that there is a problem. There is what you would call a bad part of government using this technology against its own citizens. I mean, it would be one thing if they were using them against another military or something, but no, they're using them on their own citizens. So for one person to turn the shit on and plug it into the door and act like I didn't hear it, and then it hit me for hours, and then me bitch so long, and then somebody come home and yank it off the door, and I hear the cord swaying and smack the fucking door. I mean, people can't discredit this doctor. This is the one that the government contracted to see the people that were working at the embassy that, you know, when they were flown back, he gave them a check over and said that what kind of weapons they were. Microwave and frequency. Now, I mean, I probably have enough to take myself to court and prove that people have broken in, but, you know, it would be really nice to be able to call a doctor and have him try to give me a referral to somebody closer to me. But at the same time, you know, I gave everybody fair chance. So if I send out an email or a phone call today, and people lose everything, what you do is you walk into your bathroom or your car and you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, shit, I was the problem. I mean, for somebody else's kids to get caught in someone else's room at 4 in the morning with a flashlight, I mean, what? Learn right after the parent, right? So I've had enough of the breaking in, I've had enough of being electrocuted, tortured, knocked unconscious, the whole nine, you know. So please, tell me, you know. I didn't hear none of it. I didn't hear none of it when my daughter texted you. And you called bitching, right? And the harbor, wow, I mean, that's a 20-year prison sentence. But then for those who started the torture process and, you know, tortured me for 3 years with, well, couldn't get a good night's sleep because, you know, I had kids that want to, well, not kids, but grown adults that want to stay awake all night and play fucking video games. And then it went from video games to thefts. And then it went from thefts to digging through my shit. And then it went to torture devices, then digging through my shit. That's just fucking sad. Because I didn't want anybody to get in trouble, but apparently since people don't know how to just say, alright, well, you know, we screwed with them enough psychologically, mentally, physically, whatever. And you keep doing it and then keep trying to break into my apartment. Well, what happens if nobody has an apartment? What then? Or what happens if nobody has a house because, you know, I never got the final product and the habitability just wasn't there, you know, mold, leaky, could have electrocuted a child or myself. No railing, knocked out and fallen down the steps half dozen to a dozen times. I mean, the Justice Department does investigate U.S. 18241, 242, hate crimes, and then public corruption. But then another division investigates other things that, you know, could really screw people over. And if that's what I gotta do, because people have hacked my shit, wiretapped it, spy, this is going all the time, a mile a minute. See, the recording alone that I was gone and the doors were locked up tight and there was no way into my apartment because that door was completely locked. And to hear my kitchen cabinet slam shut and someone go, shh,